તારીખ 13 સપ્ટેમ્બર 2023 BAPS સ્વામિનારાયણ અક્ષરધામ રોબિન્સવિલ એ પ્રમુખ સ્વામી મહારાજનો દિવ્ય સંકલ્પ હતો. તે સંકલ્પ અનુસાર આજે અક્ષરધામના કળશ, ધજાદંડ અને ધજાના પૂજન વિધિનો કાર્યક્રમ ખૂબ જ દિવ્યતાથી સંપન્ન થયો.
Slowly boom down.
Boom down, go. Boom down, go.
Slowly boom down.
હવે ઉપર માલ નાખીએ બધું આવ ઢીલો બરોબર.
હજી તો 20-25 આરામથી જશે.
The Karash, or sacred pot, is a symbol of auspiciousness. Perched atop BAPS Swaminarayan Akshardham in Robbinsville, New Jersey, this Karash also symbolizes a pinnacle of achievement, the completion of a monumental journey, fueled by the faith and dedication of thousands of volunteers.
The flags that fly high also celebrate 50 years of BAPS in North America, a journey just as monumental and just as inspiring.
The opening of BAPS Swaminarayan Akshardham in Robbinsville, New Jersey on October 8, 2023 marked a new dawn for Hindus in America. Its festive and traditional Vedic ceremonies symbolized the flourishing of the Hindu faith on a land far from its roots.
नित्यसेवारतस्वोत्तम भक्तेन साक्षादक्षर ब्रह्मणा श्री गुणातीतानंद स्वामी महाराजेन सह सर्वैश्वर्य संपन्नः सर्वेभ्यः परमानन्दं प्रददानो नित्यमिह भवतु संप्रतिष्ठितः भवतु संप्रतिष्ठितः भवतु संप्रतिष्ठितः.
This sacred space is much more than just a Hindu mandir. It is a testament to the resilience, the devotion, and the vision of a community that dreamt big.
Its opening heralds a new chapter where stones sing beautiful songs that inspire living a life filled with purpose, devotion, and harmony. If we were to think about creating the largest Hindu mandir in the world in the 21st century, but not in India, in America, we would probably think of it as inconceivable.
Imagine that this mandir was to be built primarily through volunteer efforts, ordinary people who have never done this before. You would probably say that's impossible. So what makes the inconceivable conceivable? What makes the impossible possible?
That is the story of BAPS Swaminarayan Akshardham in Robbinsville, New Jersey.
Akshardham is the culmination of 50 years of satsang in North America. It is the culmination of all of the hard work of the Satpurush, Pramukh Swami Maharaj and Mahant Swami Maharaj, as well as the dedication and devotion of thousands of devotees in the United States of America and Canada.
The story of its creation, like the story of BAPS in North America, is one of the most inspiring stories of the 21st century.
Today we see Akshardham rising in the sky, and thousands of visitors come and they appreciate, they have emotions that they express. But when I see it and look at the Akshardham, I go back in time. And when Pramukh Swami Maharaj gave the vision to build Akshardham, it seemed that it would happen. But when we actually started putting it on paper, when we actually started the process, it seemed inconceivable. It was impossible. Even the consultants, the officials we met, many times they said that, do you really want to build this? Because in their mind, they couldn't conceive it. And as time progressed, we realized why they were saying that. There were so many challenges to face, so many difficulties that came across.
We looked at over 320 properties. Not only did it have to be large enough, but at the same time, the technical aspects of the land, such as favorable zoning, no major environmental challenges, an appropriate neighborhood, and access from the highways were equally important. Even after all of that, the biggest challenge was ensuring that township officials and residents would be receptive to our needs.
The area in which mandir is currently residing in is in a historic district. And so usually in New Jersey, in those historic districts, you can't just build whatever you want, however you want. And so not only did we have to convince them to let us build a mandir or an Akshardham here, but to convince them that what we are building here will add to the historical nature of this location in Robbinsville.
Once we had the land, getting the approvals in American soil, building something that was never built before, it was very difficult to make people understand what this was.
New Jersey has a unique weather challenge, especially for the natural stones in the exterior of any building. Only certain types of natural stones can survive a long period of time in such weather. Numerous lab tests were carried out on many types of stone from across the world in order to make a selection.
All Hindu mandirs, especially BAPS mandirs, they are built according to the strict scriptural guidelines from Sthapatya Shastra. And those scriptures are written thousands of years ago. Today, when we were going to build Akshardham, it was very difficult to bridge the gap between the ancient scriptures, the guidelines, the structural principles, and the modern building codes that are followed in New Jersey. When it came to bringing the stones that go from Europe to India, then India to US, and making sure they don't break, they reach on time, the whole process was so difficult. At many points it looked and seemed this will not happen.
Despite all of the impossibles and defying what is imaginable, Akshardham will stand forever as a testament of the power of the human spirit and what can be achieved when a group of people work together for a common and noble purpose.
So Akshardham construction is something that we had never envisioned, because this is not something that we would do on a typical mandir construction. But Mahan Swami Maharaj, he made a goal or vision. He gave a vision saying that he wants to make everybody a part of the Akshardham building.
Sai Bapana હૃદયનો સંકલ્પ એટલે રોબિન્સવિલ અક્ષરધામ. તે સાકાર કરવાનો છે. બધાએ ઓછામાં ઓછા 15 દિવસ, 3 મહિના, 6 મહિના, 1 વર્ષ સેવા જોડાવું. બાપાનો રાજીપો મળશે. સેવાથી અંતરે શાંતિ રહેશે અને અંતે અક્ષરધામ મળશે.
12,500 volunteers. 7,800 volunteers were male, but more astoundingly for the construction purposes, 4,700 volunteers were female. And that never happens in construction or typical any job site in construction in America. There were volunteers from all kinds of backgrounds. They jumped into the seva. It didn't matter to them whether I have experience with construction or not. It didn't matter to them whether it was doing some very menial task, even though there were volunteers who were doctors who came here and they were serving soup as a part of the serving team. The volunteers who were lawyers and engineers. Obviously the engineers, they are more of the design work, but they are actually on the field doing all kinds of menial seva, cutting stone, moving pallets and picking up garbage. There are volunteers who had multiple businesses and they had people who were working under them, but here they are working under the instructions of small other volunteers who were more experienced in this construction than them. People who are just in college, just studying, they took time off from their college, they took a year off. There are people who were just starting their careers. They got a job and they're just getting themselves established. Or even the volunteers who were just recently married, they took 6 months or a year off and came here to do seva. When we started in 2020, when Mahan Swami Maharaj wrote a letter encouraging everybody to join the construction seva, out of the 1.9 million cubic feet of stone that was left to be put up, 1.1 million cubic feet was still pending. That itself is a very massive task which would have taken years to complete. We were told to join with people who had completely zero experience in the stone construction. The only experienced people on the site were the 11 Doshta Bhayo that were here to guide the volunteers in the stone construction process. The rain is very unpredictable, the cold and severe cold weather, and also the heat in the summer. All of those things play a very important role in the construction, and they were obviously against us. how do you manage such a task with, especially even if you had to do with the machines, cranes. Cranes become a limitation because we don't have crane operators, and we've tried to get crane operators from outside, and those operators will work in certain hours only, and we had to work with the volunteers in the multiple shifts and work parallelly. So all of those things were also very difficult. At one point we had 1,000 volunteers doing so many different tasks. At one point we had 16 cranes being operated in this type. Another unique aspect of Seva is that entire families, they came here for Seva. So how would they go back and return back to their normal careers? There were brothers who came for the Seva. There are families who came as a husband and wife and with their children. There are families that relocated to Robbinsville and rented an apartment for a year or 2 years so they can completely focus on their Seva. There were some families, their husbands who came here and they had the newborn babies, 6 months old, 10 months old, and their wives, they encouraged their husbands that you go for Seva because this is an opportunity, you will not come back again, and I'll look after the child. Mahant Swami Maharaj always stresses on the importance of samp, unity. And this Akshardham is a testament of that unity. Mahant Swami Maharaj gave a very nice slogan. He wrote it down on the very first volunteer sabha that we had with Swami Shri online. Swami wrote a slogan, he said, Seva with samp. And that became the motto for these volunteers. Those sentences were all over the place, but not only on the walls, but rather on the day-to-day activities of the volunteers. We see that everyone was able to connect with each other and work with each other. They were young and old.
I just wanted to be a part of something that was bigger than myself, and this is way bigger than myself. My name is Krishna. I'm from Tampa, Florida, and I've been here for 14 months.
Site Seva has made a really big impact on my life. Being here and doing Site Seva, coming here every single day, it truly has become my home. My name is Upasna Raj, and I'm from San Diego.
By being here, I've learned how to work with people that are just from completely different areas with different backgrounds. And how to work with them in a way that I can better myself too.
I've learned one thing, that nothing is impossible. Like if you just put your mind to it and keep working, I think you can make things happen. My name is Hari Kishan and I'm from Orlando. I've been here for about 19 months now and I work as an aerospace engineer.
Akshardham inspires me by making me believe that anything is possible. Who would have thought that a Mahamandir like this in Akshardham would be built in North America, let alone by volunteers?
But I've been here for 3 months. I'm a student as a biology major at the University of California, San Diego.
My wife and I are both here at Akshardham for long-term Seva, and we're really excited for Akshardham to open. There's a lot of other things that we could be doing. We've seen our friends progress in their careers, we've seen them go on vacations, but this experience has given us true peace.
Being here at Site Seva has taught me a lot. One of the biggest things is working together with a team, especially with being on a team with a ton of different people, all from different backgrounds. You really learn how to work well with other people and work together through every single obstacle that comes through.
Something I learned by being on site is how to work with people. I've seen a lot of different types of people on site, and everyone has their own personalities, their own way of working, and being able to kind of work with everybody in the way they're most comfortable in is the biggest thing I've learned from site.
Akshardham is a part of my heart now, and it's something that I will have so much mahima for the rest of my life.
The biggest thing I'll take away is this Akshardham has now become home, and the people that I work with is now family. It's a family that kind of will, I'll be in touch with almost forever in my life. Coming back 10 years from now, I will feel pure bliss just looking at this beautiful structure and this Mahamandir, and just knowing that you were part of this for about 18, 19 months, and it was probably one of the best decisions I made.
The volunteers, when they came here, they were all unknown to each other. They came, walked into unknown site, but everyone knows that when they went back, and even today after 2 years, they still know that they are a big family.
Of all of the logistics of hosting all of the volunteers at Akshardham, the most difficult, in our opinion, was the food services department. Because bringing them here, sure, we could take care of that. Having them do their seva and their volunteer work, they can do that. But feeding them, 1,000 of them, 1,500 of them, at some points 2,000 of them, that's when we realized how great the sacrifice of our kitchen department was at that time. Every day, for 365 days a year, for almost 3 years, they would feed the devotees 5 times a day, from breakfast, mid-morning snack, lunch, afternoon snack, and dinner. And let's not forget about the desserts that they'd give multiple times a week. Feeding the volunteers seems easy, but when you have volunteers who are young, some are old, some who are more accustomed to Indian food, some are more accustomed to Western food, it becomes very difficult to please everyone.
મારું નામ રીતેશ પટેલ છે. હું અહીંયા રોબિન્સવિલમાં જ સેવા કરું છું. જ્યારથી આપણે અક્ષરધામની સેવા શરૂ થઈ અને મહંત સ્વામી મહારાજે જ્યારે આપણને વોલેન્ટિયરને ફૂલ ટાઈમ સેવાની હાકલ કરી ત્યારથી મને 2 વર્ષ ફૂલ ટાઈમ સેવા કરવાનો લાભ મળ્યો. તો એ વખતે નોકરી ધંધો છે એને ગૌણ કરી અને ફૂલ ટાઈમ માટે હું કિચનની સેવામાં આવી ગયો. એટલે આપણો ગોલ એવો હતો કે 15 દિવસના જે વોલન્ટિયર હોય તો 15 દિવસમાં મેન્યુ કોઈ આઇટમ હોય એ રિપીટ ના થાય. એ આપણો એક ગોલ હતો. બીજો ગોલ એવો હતો કે આ જે વોલન્ટિયર જે બધા આવતા હતા તો એમાં આપણી જોડે કિશોરો આવતા હતા, યુવકો આવતા હતા, વડીલો આવતા હતા. તો આપણે જે બપોરે લંચ આપીએ, સાંજે ડિનર આપીએ, તો એમાં દરેક સમયે દરેકને જમવાનું વ્યવસ્થિત મળી રહે. જેમ કે એ લોકો ઘરે જમતા હોય તો એમને યુવક હોય તો આજે એને કોઈ વેસ્ટર્ન આઇટમ જોઈતી હોય, જ્યારે આપણી જોડે વડીલ કોઈ દાદા હોય તો એમને ભાઈ દાળ ભાત જોઈતા હોય કે સાંજે ખીચડી કઢી જોઈતી હોય. એમાં બીજો આસ્પેક્ટ એ આવતો હતો કે ઘણા બધા યુવકો કે વડીલો હોય એમને ડાયટરી રિસ્ટ્રિક્શન આવે. જેમ કે કોઈ છે વિગન હોય, કોઈને ડાયાબિટીક હોય, કોઈને બીજી કોઈ તકલીફ હોય. તો એ બધું પણ આપણે કન્સિડરેશન કરતા હતા. બીજું કે ઠંડી હોય, ગરમી હોય, વરસાદ હોય, બહેનોનું જે કમિટમેન્ટ હતું એ કાયમ માટે કે ભાઈ સવારમાં એમની 6 વાગે સેવા જો શરૂ કરવાની હોય તો એ 5:45 આવી જાય. બીજું કે આજે બહેનો સવારથી આવે, મોડા સુધી સેવા કરવાની હોય તો કરે. અમુકવાર અમુક ટાઈપના ફૂડ હોય તો અમે મેન્યુ બનાવવા કે બેઠા હોય તો આપણને એમ વિચાર થાય કે ભાઈ 1200 હરિભક્તો માટે આપણે આ કઈ રીતે પહોંચી વળીશું. જેમ કે પિઝા બનાવવાના હોય તો ઘણીવાર એમ થાય કે ભાઈ આટલામાં આપણે નહીં પહોંચી વળીએ. તો બહેનો સામેથી કે તમે આવું મોડું કેમ બોલો છો, એ અમે બનાવી આપીશું, તમે એની ચિંતા ના કરશો, તમે મેન્યુ બનાવો, હરિભક્તોને સારામાં સારું જમાડો. એ ઘણીવાર તો આપણને ઘણીવાર જણાવે કે બાપા હોય તો શું વિચારે. અને આ જે સેવા એમણે કરી છે એ 1, 2, 5 દિવસ કે અઠવાડિયા માટે નથી, પણ સળંગ છેલ્લા જે આ 2, 2.5, 3 વર્ષ છે એ સળંગ સેવા કરી છે અને હજુ પણ એ સેવા એમની ચાલુ જ છે.
One of the most amazing aspects of everyone's volunteer seva was that no one was ever tired. It seems odd. Every day they'd start their seva at 8, 9 in the morning until 5, 6 in the evening. But at night when you meet them, they're still smiling, they're fresh. Why was that? Right from the beginning, when we started the volunteer seva program, Mahant Swami Maharaj had told us that they're coming here for seva, but they're coming here out of the feeling of devotion. When they come here, they'll go to Aarti every day. They'll listen to Katha, the discourses, every morning in the mandir. In the evening, all of the young boys and girls, they'd get together, they'd do goshti, discussions. And what we saw is that when they came here with a feeling of devotion, God actually gave them some sort of energy that they've never felt before. It's that energy of devotion, of bhakti.
My name is Anjali Patel. I'm from Cherry Hill, New Jersey. I came to Site Seva during the first batch of December 2021 and I left November of 2023, so a little under 2 years. So I think about it and I'm like, I would not have known how, if my brother told me to get a drill, I would be like, what's that? Like, I would not know what to do getting it out of the garage. And I think about it now, I'm like, the amount of things I didn't know I was capable of, only because, like, you know, Mahajan Swami and all the people that were here to teach us. And for Jakti, I remember, like, one of the first things we did was, like, learn what a grid looks like, and then how to put a grid together, what the different pieces are, where to find those pieces, and then, like, not everything fits perfectly. So you have to buff things down, you have to, like, make space for it so they all fit together. It's like a little jigsaw puzzle that you're putting together fully, and then once you put one together, you gotta connect the other one, and it goes all the way around in that way. When we're working on a grid, if something wasn't the exact size, or like if it wasn't fitting, that means we have to constantly buff it down so it would fit in there, or else the whole thing is slanted or uneven. And you could tell, and it's not something you could just avoid or act like you don't see it. And it was also like, because you know the mal was coming in, you had to shave it down a little too much so that the mal would actually fit into it. So it was a lot of precision in that, because if one thing wasn't perfect, the entire, like, the rest of Jakti is going to be off. For me, the most challenging part was balancing everything I had on my plate at that time. So I was at Sai Seva full time. I also had a part-time job that I would do at night, and I was doing my master's in healthcare administration as well. So just having to balance all three things. We didn't have to help put that together because we were doing Sai Seva and something was done for us. Like, to think that, like, other people are going out of their way to, like, put together a picnic, like a 4th of July picnic that we had at the park, or like just like these dinners that we would have on site where we got to eat, and, like, you know, we're doing Seva all day and we get to sit on site and just enjoy the view and eat our dinner there. And, like, it's like people would come to cater to us instead of us, like, just doing Seva like on non-stop. But, like, having that feeling of, there are people that are trying to make this feeling of, like, belonging, and the feeling of there's little moments in life, it's not just about Seva. So, but I feel like all those little events put together, it's like, to think that we had an experience of not just like doing Sai Seva, but being on site, being in this bubble of Akshardham was, like, beyond phenomenal to have all these experiences now. You know, thinking back on it and reflecting, it's like, the Seva that we did then, I would have never in a million years thought I could do something like that, or, like, been able to, like, have a schedule like that where we're, like, constantly on the go, and then, like, you know, take your rest, and then we're back at it again for, like, almost 2 years. Akshardham is home. So I would say people, like, use the phrase home away from home, meaning that it's your second home, but I wouldn't even want to use that phrase because it is my first home. It is my only home, only true home. And I think about it, I'm like, if I could just sit here all day, sit on that bench and stare at Akshardham, I would just sit here.
When we see Akshardham today, we see beauty, we see grandeur, we see intricacies. But what we cannot see are the sacrifices made by thousands of volunteers. What we cannot see are the long, quiet drives home after hours of Seva. What we cannot see are the spouses stepping in to take care of the children. What we cannot see is letting go of personal comforts to stand shoulder to shoulder with others. Or the missed family dinners and birthday celebrations. Or postponing career goals, vacations, and personal milestones. Putting aside disagreements or personal preferences. Spending weekends away from home. Dealing with fears, doubts, and uncertainties. Hidden within every pillar and etched in each carving of Akshardham will be the story of unseen sacrifices, countless hands and countless hearts, each offering their devotion without ever being seen.